This week on Deep Space Pride, a gay Star Trek podcast, we talk about off-topic media that you can watch while new Star Trek is on hiatus. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Johnson.
Hey, Mike.
So right now I am somewhere in Asia, right? Somewhere over half the world away.
By the time that we release this, yes, you're no longer in the continental United States.
I am not. Yes. So we are recording this well in advance, since all of you listeners who are listening, all three of you get to listen to our voices from the past.
Yeah,
sort of like
it's like time travel.
Like time travel. It's like a historical document, right? This is a historical document of all of the off topic as of July 4th, 2022. So
yeah, I don't know what's coming out in the next few weeks in general, outside of that, like non-Star Trek related, rather.
Yeah, I don't know anything. I think the last big one, which we're going to talk a little bit about, was that they did a lot of marketing push for, was Umbrella Academy.
Yes.
So that's really the last thing to drop that recently that I.
Well, Umbrella Academy
on my
and
radar.
Stranger Things, which you don't watch,
right? Yeah, I'm way behind. So yes, although the other day, yesterday or the day before, I walked by one of the kids who's on that. I walked by him twice. He was walking up and down 9th Avenue.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so he's sort of the curly-haired one. I don't know his name.
Destin?
Yeah, probably Destin. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And now that I think about it, yeah. So in fact, a couple of people in front, I would see him, and then a couple of people in front of me would see him, and be like, they'd stop and be like, look back as he's walking away. I'm like, yeah, this kid is really popular. Everyone knows who he is, but no one bothered him while I was walking by him anyway. So yeah, I didn't even know his first name, so I couldn't have even.
I don't know Dustin. His name in real life, unfortunately.
So
I'm terrible.
So yeah, yeah, I'm way behind on Stranger Things, so that's really in the news right now. We do have Andor coming up, Star Wars Andor coming up later in August. I think.
August. Yeah. Well, when do you think we actually will get more new Star Trek? August, right? Lower Decks.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. So the big, this isn't really big news, although they've been pushing this, and I thought this was already out there. Was Prodigy is on Nickelodeon now for like cable TV Nickelodeons. So they've been pushing that. So I was kind of either expecting like a 5-episode arc of Prodigy, or that's actually what I was really expecting after Strange New Worlds ends next week, or this week actually. This week being the week that we're recording it, not the week that you're listening to this.
Yes.
But yeah, so it looks like we're gonna have a hiatus.
Probably
even since this is way beyond our Will Wheaton episode now, even he sort of intimated at a potential gap in Star Trek, like a little bit of a break.
Well, he said that there would be a bit of a break in the Ready Room.
Yes. So I mean, in the Ready Room,
a short hiatus.
Essentially the companion to whatever new Star Trek is on. So
right.
So that in essence really says, there's a hiatus from new Star Trek for a little bit. So yeah, so at this point, I think we're gonna go into our normal August release of Lower Decks.
Yeah, I would say so. Makes sense.
And then it sort of makes sense that after that we're gonna get our final 10 episodes of season 1 of Prodigy. Prodigy.
Yeah.
Can't talk tonight. It's been a long day.
Assuming they don't break it up again for some weird reason.
Yeah, but I can't think of a reason why though, unless they're, I still wish they would put Picard in, in 20 weeks or whatever, and sort of in replacement of Discovery, which is just starting to film, and Strange New Worlds season 2 is just wrapping up. So
yeah.
And they must be starting pre-production on something. There must be something unannounced. Yeah, they have to, because I assume that in 3 months or so, whenever Discovery wraps up main production, that they will say, hey, we're starting production on X, Starfleet Academy or Section 31, whatever it may be.
Right.
What do you think we're gonna get next?
In terms of a new series?
Yes.
I mean, I would like to say Section 31 because it's been just in the pipeline forever, but I don't know. It's all coming down to Michelle Yeoh's very busy schedule.
Yeah,
I feel they should just do what honestly Disney has been doing with Lucasfilm, which is it doesn't need to be a 10 episode commitment. It could be 6 episodes. It could be whatever fits their schedule or whatever fits the story. Sometimes I feel that
I think fitting the story is better, as I will talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi in a little bit.
Right.
I think it's whatever fits the story is important.
Well, Ewan McGregor is also busy, and I'm sure a lot of pieces have to fit together sometimes with these bigger actors. So I get it. And honestly, Michelle Yeoh has been very busy lately. So I can understand why it's harder to fit her schedule. But look, like you don't need to write a 10 episode, 12 episode season if it doesn't need to be. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you can build one story, and this is, our executive producer Bill Smith wrote an article about what's wrong with Discovery and how to fix it, and he talked about smaller arcs. Which I totally agree with. Smaller arcs, and also
1,000%.
And he also mentioned having us get to know the bridge crew after 4 seasons. Yes.
Absolutely.
We're not here to talk about Discovery. We're not even here to really talk about Star Trek this week. We're here to give our listeners some other things to watch while new Star Trek is on a hiatus.
Yeah. And there are plenty of shows. There's a lot of shows, and a lot of that has been seeping into our day-to-day, week-to-week conversation anyway. So we thought we might as well just get it out of our systems and talk about what else we've been watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm gonna let you kick it off. What do you want to start with this time around? What's your first off-topic series that you recommend our listeners watch?
Sure. So we talk about it a lot, but I feel more people need to watch it because not enough people watch it and talk about it is definitely For All Mankind. We just really need people to watch a show because it is just so good. And Ron Moore is doing a very good job. I was saying to you after we watched the most recent episode, I was like, honestly, Star Trek should just get Ron Moore back, and whatever their next big serialized series is going to be, have him run it, because he just knows how to really run serialized storytelling well. Because I personally don't feel that they've done I think their attempts at running serialized stories have been very hit or miss. I know we have different feelings on this. I think that all their serialized storytelling has been very hit or miss. And Ron Moore just has a track record of running serialized dramas. It's like sci-fi dramas even over 20 episode seasons or 10 episode seasons, whatever.
Battlestar Galactica comes to mind.
Battlestar Galactica, For All Mankind right now. Outlander, which I haven't really watched, but people love it. Like, like there's a lot under his belt. He just knows how to do this, and he's just a really talented guy. And
So why do we
Yeah.
love For All Mankind?
What about For All Mankind?
Why do we love For All Mankind?
Well, I can go and then you can go because I know you like For All Mankind as
I do,
well.
yes.
I
Yeah.
just think that it is just such a good show. I mean, all around, I think that the acting is great. The act, the characters are just so complex, and they're all very imperfect people. And there's no one hero, like there's Joel Kinnaman's character Ed. He's the lead, but he's just an imperfect person, and I think they really just do a great job of fleshing these people out and just making them feel very lived in and very real. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that we talked about this a couple episodes ago because we can help ourselves, but honestly, they are really good at portraying the dangers of space exploration, how
Yes.
much effort it takes, how much goes into it, and how dangerous it is to be on that frontier. I think that they just, even the most recent episode, which was just episode 4, it was just, middle of the season episode, whatever. I literally gasped at the end. Like, it was just so good. It
Yes.
was so thrilling. And not every
Yep.
episode's like thrilling like that, but there's always some drama. Like, either it's interpersonal drama or there was that episode. By the way, there are spoilers throughout. So for those listeners that have not heard about
Yeah, we'll try to
watch
keep it
this,
to a
yeah,
minimum because this is
yeah,
an ongoing show right now, and
right. It's ongoing.
people don't necessarily watch this show on demand, kind of like we watch Star Trek. So I
Right.
mean,
I
we
I
watch the
watch it every
show.
week. I like need to watch it.
Yes, yeah. But
Absolutely.
for
Yeah.
me, speaking for me, when I had COVID last month, I caught up and watched the entire season 2 in time to watch the season premiere of season 3.
Mhm.
So I caught up,
Right.
and season 2 was phenomenal.
Yeah. And
I
I kept on
don't
telling you to watch it. I was like, watch it, watch it.
I know, but I had the time. I had the
Mhm.
downtime while I was sick to watch it. So there's that, but also it's a bingeable show that is really thrilling and interesting, and it puts a great twist on alternate timeline,
Yeah.
on Earth. And how they do it is so smooth. They don't overdo it. They fit it in, like the televised debates for president
Mm-hmm.
come to mind. So it's just, because right now we are at 1996.
94.
Oh, did they move it up? Oh, 96 was the
Yeah.
original. Right,
96 was the original
yes.
launch
So
date. Now it's 94.
yeah, 94. So we're in 1994, which for those of us who are old enough to remember 1994, it's
Yes.
very different. And
Very different.
like especially I think those of us who love space and sci-fi, and um I get thrills just watching this unfold because wow, what if this had really happened? Like this, we would be
Yes.
living in a different society, a different world. I mean, I can't wait till, I mean, they were using Newtons for video calls, which was made by Apple
Yeah. Yes, I heard
um,
about this. Yeah.
way before
I didn't
iPhone.
recognize the
And
device, and I was like,
oh,
people
I
talked about
did.
it. I was like,
I saw
oh,
it. I
okay.
was just impressed. I was impressed with the screen inside of it. But the form factor was very familiar to me because I had picked up one or two on the eBay market at one point and played around
So
with it
random.
years and years ago. So yeah, it's just, that kind of cool stuff. So I can't wait to see how they fit in like Steve Jobs into this, and like
Mm,
Apple, and like the iPhone, because that's coming up, that's not too far away. And
it's not.
especially since they jump so far ahead each season. So
Yeah,
we
it's like
started
a
out in the
decade
sixth.
jump.
Yeah, so we started out what, the 50s or 60s, the season
60s.
1, 60s in season 1. We jumped to the late 70s, early 80s in season 2,
Hmm.
and here we are in the early 90s now.
Yeah.
So
I do
Um,
wonder what they're going to do with the characters since I don't really need all of these geriatrics.
no, yeah, no,
That's
definitely
a
not.
thing
No.
because every season it jumps like a decade, like around a decade.
Yeah, so this is why I think they brought on I can't think of his name, but the young guy who is Ed's first officer, sort of, or
Danny,
um Danny, yes, Danny, the son of the two um Gordo
Tracy,
and
and Gordo. Yes,
Tracy and Gordo, who gave up their lives at the end of season 2 to save Jamestown. So in a
right.
very dramatic
Very dramatic.
dramatic
Yeah.
fashion. So and it's actually just to talk about that minor that's the major plot point, but just to talk about a minor scene meeting having their other son who's earthbound
Mm-hmm.
and kind of a loser, I guess would be the easy,
He's kind of lost. He's
the
like
loss.
drifting.
He meets the Marine that Tracy taught how to do the LSAM on the moon when they went and took over the mining area.
Mm-hmm.
And he relays to their son, who I can't think of his name right now,
Jimmy.
Jimmy. They relate to Jimmy, or you know these names much better than I do. He relates to Jimmy that what happened, what the official story was, whatever the official story was not the full story,
Right.
which is
Like
not terribly surprising, but yeah, I was like, oh wow. So I wonder um what the official story was that the world was kind of told about Tracy
well,
and
he also seemed like
Gordo's.
a conspiracy theorist of sorts. So
Oh yeah, the Marine, yeah, a little
mm-hmm.
bit. Yeah. Yeah, there was a little bit of,
Yeah.
PTSD edginess, like
Yeah.
sort of like a military guy who's kind of, yeah, who has some issues and doesn't, yeah, believes in
Right.
that sort of stuff. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. But overall, I really can't recommend the show enough. It just does such a great job, like you're saying, with the setting the stage for this alternate timeline, which is just really interesting because it's our timeline, but just slightly different. And they do
Mhm.
such a interesting job kind of building out that mythology and fleshing out the world that way, and how that all trickles down to the culture that they're living in, like we're saying about the Apple devices, or like for example that the iPod is out early, like they're using like an iPod in
Yeah.
94,
Yeah.
like small things
Yep,
like
they are.
that, like small decisions like that in terms of how the world has been impacted because the space race never ended,
Right.
and the scientific advancements that came as a result of that and how that also ultimately impacted society. It's just really interesting, and it's just very different and unique, and it's just so well done, and it's always thrilling. Like whether it's the space moments or sometimes it's the character moments, they just do such an awesome job from a storytelling perspective. It's one of those shows that I really can't wait for each episode to come out on a weekly basis. It's one of the first things I watch Fridays or Saturdays or whatever. And yeah, I can't recommend it enough. And more people need to watch it.
Thankfully, Apple TV gives me a update notification when a new episode is out because I can't keep track of when shows are coming out now. Some are
Mm-hmm.
on Wednesday, some are on Thursday, some are on
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah.
So yes. But cool. That's
Yeah.
great.
All right, Mike, your turn. What is your pick? Your top pick. One of your
So
top picks.
my first pick, because I have a lot to say about this, that is going to be the Orville New Horizons.
Okay,
So there's
okay.
season 3. Have you been watching this? Are
No, but
you
you
up to?
can
No, okay.
no, you can spoil it. I only watched a few episodes of season one.
I'm not gonna so I really enjoy it. It's sort of like, if it's Seth MacFarlane's homage to the next generation, essentially.
Right, right.
Um, and so a lot of people compare it to the next generation. Some say he steals ideas from the next generation, whatever. I don't even really think about that. However, the reason why I'm stoked to talk about it right now
Uh-huh.
is because in season 3, the latest episode, this one just dropped this past week on Wednesday. So at
Uh-huh.
the end of June.
On
Right? Yeah.
Hulu.
on Hulu was an episode that just blew me away. It was written by Seth MacFarlane, and it's called A Tale of Two Appas, I think
Okay.
is so Appa is Crichton's and I can't remember his husband's name, but they have a son
Uh-huh.
uh who in season one, which you may have, I think they laid an egg in season
Yeah,
one.
yeah, I remember. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it's about this child. Do you remember anything else that happened to that child during that season? Did you watch all of season one or no?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So later on in season one, there's this issue with the baby, the child is born as a female, which in their society is
Oh yeah, I vaguely remember that. That
not
was like,
good.
yeah.
So they go to court, and the union gets involved and all of this, and
Uh-huh.
um eventually
Or are there
they
like no females born or something like that? Was that the thing? Is that
I don't,
not like
it's sort of, I can't explain it well, and that's my bad. I did not do my homework for this particular show, but so I can't really speak to all of it really well, but it's worth going back and watching the first two seasons and then catching up to the third season because the latest episode is about transgender. And
transgender issues?
so I yes,
Okay.
yes.
Uh-huh.
And a lot around identity and um so it's really at first I was a little skeptical as the story kind of unfolded. I was concerned because Seth MacFarlane wrote this and I was like, can he write this up, can he write this
Sure.
episode? I was kind of a little bit,
Sure.
and I don't remember who directed it. So I didn't, again, I didn't do my research. So I apologize to our listeners, but it's worth watching for the simple reason that it is about transgender issues and identity. And it's really a fascinating and educational approach to it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's political and union impact to all of this. There's a war going on. There's all kinds of things that are happening that are sort of affected around us or
Mm.
affected that affect this and are affected by this.
Oh.
So, but it's just it's a really interesting story around transgender issues. So
Mm.
I was blown away. I was actually a little bit emotional watching it.
Oh,
I thought
okay.
it was a really an amazing educational episode.
Hmm.
So I was really it was on the level with the Serene Squall, really. I
Hmm.
mean,
Okay.
the conversation that between Angel and Spock and identity and things like that. And so it's just a great episode. I don't know that if you haven't watched it or haven't watched this season that you would get it completely, but I
Uh-huh.
think I think you could just jump in and watch this episode and approach it from that kind of perspective. So
Hmm.
but it's definitely, it's just a fun overall. The Orville is just a fun light show that
Mm-hmm.
but this particular episode was on the heavier side, but in a really good and educational way. So
Cool.
um I was really impressed by it. And I would love to know from our gender community out there who watch sci-fi and who may have seen the episode. I'd love to know what you all thought of it.
Hmm.
So it's just I thought it was great, but yeah, so I definitely recommend the Orville, and certainly this new season is good. Go back and watch the first two seasons if you haven't. It's just an enjoyable, light, not too heavy usually, but they do have these occasional, like Star Trek The Next Generation, like moral lessons and things like that
Sure.
that they
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah. Hmm.
that's one thing that Seth MacFarlane really liked about The Next Generation and works that in to the show. So definitely check that one out.
Cool. Awesome.
What's next for you?
So the next thing on my list, which I have been pestering you to watch, is Severance. So Severance season 1 ended a couple weeks ago at this point on Apple TV. I'm not going to really talk too much about it because if I talk too much about it, it kind of immediately spoils it. But
Yep.
I just think it's one of the most unique shows and premises I've come across recently. There is a sci-fi bent to it, that I can tell you. And it just takes what we know about office culture to kind of this extreme. And it's just really, it's very relatable, and it is just very original. I'm trying to like think about what I can say about it. But despite all that, I think at the end of the day, it's another one of those shows on Apple that just does a great job of bringing these characters to life despite the really extraordinary circumstances that we're talking about and the setting that we're in.
Yep.
And they're just filled with characters that are very real, and they just have very human-like reactions and human-like desires. So I just applaud the showrunners. I don't recall who the showrunners are, for just creating something really different and original in this day and age, and coming up with something that is not too far out there, but it's still something that we can all just get. And it's the finale is riveting. It's riveting. I was enthralled. So yeah, I
did check out the
Severance.
description, and I have an idea about why it is so interesting, and so I am intrigued, and it's highly likely that I will download it and take it with me on the 19-hour plane ride to Asia.
Okay, you have to watch it at some point. At least watch the first episode. The first episode basically lays it all out. Like, and the great thing I like about the show is that there are mysteries, but it's not like they tell you pretty early on like what's going on. Like there are things that you're like, oh, what's this, what's that, but it's kind of like, it's not like one of those Lost kind of shows where they do not tell you what is going on until like the very end, and still you have no idea. Like they actually reveal a lot of the answers as you go along. So it's really interesting.
Okay. So. Great. Yeah. I've definitely, I was looking on Apple TV Plus. I saw it. I read a little bit about it, and I was like, okay, this is intriguing enough that I understand why Johnson is harping about it a little bit. But
yeah, it's just
I plan on watching it.
Very unique. There's a lot of like Emmy talk. Like we'll I don't know if we'll get any, because sci-fi usually doesn't always get that kind of love, but we'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right. What's next on your list, Mike?
I think next I'm going to talk about there's one missing. For All Mankind.
What? Didn't we talk about For All Mankind?
I didn't talk much about it. No. Oh no, sorry, not For All Mankind. The man sorry, the man who
who fell to Earth. Okay.
Sorry, yes. Okay. I was like, it's not on my list.
Okay. You might have mentioned that. I just forgot to jot it down. But yes, the man who fell to Earth. Yes.
Yeah. So this, I'll tell you a little bit. You know, I was sick with COVID, and so Apple TV Plus had, you know, the first episode on as a free watch, and I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And then I was intrigued enough that it actually let me play the next 2 episodes before I had to subscribe to Showtime. So fortunately, Showtime had a month free trial. So I ended up catching up and towards the end of my COVID time, and it actually just wrapped up yesterday with episode 10. So
you watched it?
I watched it. Yes, I've watched the finale, and yeah, it's just so this is also by,
and I've seen 3 episodes. That's it.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So this is it's created by Alex Kurtzman and Jenny Lumet, who you might know as people who created Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
So Also, Olutande Swami. I'm not saying his name right,
Oh,
but
okay.
From Discovery, executive producer and director. And I think, yeah, executive producer and director. He directed the last couple of episodes. So I think he directed 9 and 10. So this is very much in the wheelhouse of it is a CBS production, but it's for Showtime. It is what I would call it's based on a short story, but I would say this is more like hard sci-fi. This is more like thinking. It's a little more complex. It's not quite as straightforward. There's some intrigue. There is some the characters are interesting. Another tie to Star Trek is Kate Mulgrew is in it.
Yes.
So
she doesn't have a huge role, but
no, she doesn't.
Yeah,
she plays a pivotal role though, and yeah, and as you learn a little bit more about her throughout the show, but it is just very interesting, and it's a different show. It's sci-fi for sure. It's just hard sci-fi. The characters are interesting. What happens is interesting. You're like, I mean, it does, you do have mysteries and they do get sort of solved, and you know, it's just a lot. I think it's definitely, you got to pay a little bit more attention. You got to like, there are, I would say, some gaps and things that you do need to kind of fill in for yourself a little bit, but yeah, some memorable characters. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it. And you can watch the first 3 episodes on Apple TV Plus if you already have that. And then Showtime has a free month trial, so you can watch the remaining 7 episodes without any charge. And what I do is I signed up for the trial, and then I go into my subscriptions and I immediately cancel it, and it tells me, you have until this date to use, so you don't lose the trial when you cancel it. So and there isn't any other shows that I'm aware of on Showtime. I also do not need a 17th streaming app.
I know there's so many,
which is why I refuse to watch anything on Peacock, because it's too much.
I don't
like thanks NBC, you came to the game too late. I'm actually really surprised CBS beat you there, but they did.
They did.
Surprisingly, I don't know how they got their shit together for that, but so that, yeah, I recommend it. It's definitely on the harder sci-fi piece. It's it's more of a sci-fi drama, but maybe even a little bit of X-Files vibes in there as well. Yeah, so if any of that interests you, definitely check it out. You watch the first 3 episodes like Johnson did. Don't fall asleep like Johnson did. And
yeah, I mean, I don't dislike it. I think it's okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if it's must-watch TV for me. Obviously, like it's not bad.
You'll know after, I knew after 3 episodes, like there was no question when they said, "Oh, the next episode you have to sign up for Showtime." I was like, done and done, and I was pleasantly surprised that there was a month free trial for Showtime. If there had been a week, I would have been a little more annoyed. But it was a free month, and also I thought that all the episodes were out already. I didn't realize it was going out live still. So so I kind of lucked out with all of that. But yeah, if you're like if you're intrigued enough like I was, you'll continue to watch it and you'll want to do that. If not, then it's not for you, and move on. We've got 17 other shows.
I know. No, there's a lot of content out there that's vying for my attention. That's honestly vying for all our attention. So it's like I watched, after watching the first 3 episodes, I was like, it's not bad, but I don't know if I need to know what happens. So, to each their own. I think that, yes, for those of you that are intrigued. I mean, like Mike you're saying, like just sign up for a free month of Showtime and just binge it.
All right. What's next for you, Johnson?
Yeah. So next for me, I'm going to talk about Stranger Things. And this is funny because we're starting to veer into shows that we each individually watch, though we haven't
Yeah,
talked about Obi-Wan Kenobi yet. Um,
right.
but yes, Stranger Things. I'll talk about Stranger Things, which I know you have not watched since season one. Is it?
Yeah, I did not follow up and watch season two, although I may have watched some of season two, maybe even all of season two. I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay.
I have no idea. I'd have to go back and like watch. For me, what happens when I haven't watched a show for a long time, and this is true for almost every show. I mean, I
You
watched
kind of
the
just lose
season.
momentum though. It's just
Yeah,
like,
no,
yeah.
yeah, but also what I do is I go and watch the last episode of the last season I remember watching. So
Mm-hmm.
for All Mankind, I'm really glad I did. I watched the season finale of season one and then jumped into season two
Mm-hmm.
and then, watched it all the way through. But so for a lot of shows, I do that. So for Stranger Things, I would probably go back to the end of season one, watch the
Oh my
finale,
god.
watch the first episode of season two, and see if I remember anything, and then sort of jump ahead if I do, or just watch it through if I have time. But I don't foresee Stranger Things being on that list. But go ahead, tell us more
Yeah,
about
yeah.
what's
I think that if you haven't really watched it since season one, it's kind of hard because, like we said, there's just so many other shows that are vying for our attention that unless you had some extraordinary reason to go back and watch it, it's doubtful. But you never know. You never know. This is we're talking about season four right now, and season four was very supersized. Each episode was over an hour, like probably an hour and 20 minutes.
oh
The
wow.
season finale was 2 hours and 20 minutes. It was
Oh my
crazy.
word.
It was like a full long movie. Like not just
For the
like, oh,
for part one or for part two?
what do you mean?
So season four was broken up into part one and part two.
Right. So it was like 6 episodes and then 2 episodes, or 7 episodes and 2 episodes. And part two, which was just the last 2 episodes, I mean, I'm talking about the very last episode was 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Just one episode, no break.
Is it a series finale or
No,
is it
there's one more
a
season. There's going to be one more season.
okay, all right.
And Stranger Things is actually not one of my favorite shows. It's one of those shows that I have committed to watching and I like. I don't love it. And a lot of people love Stranger Things. And I think between the characters, which are very, the characters are very well developed, and the 80s nostalgia and the whole upside down premise and things like that, I think a lot of people just really, really love it. There's something that, between all those different elements just clicks for them. I don't know if for me, I'm not a Stranger Things super fan. I think it's good. I think it's high quality shit. I enjoy it, but even when the season first premiered on Netflix, I didn't watch it straight away. There were other things I was watching that I wanted to get out of the way first before watching Stranger Things. It just wasn't high priority. And then even during the season, there were definitely moments when I thought the story dragged a little bit. And I'm sure that most of our listeners who do care about Stranger Things have probably watched it already. But there was just like so many things going on. Like some of the characters in Russia, some of the characters were in like California, some of them were just in other places, in the secret polling facility. There's just like a lot of different places and jumping between a lot of different disparate elements. And sometimes there was just a lot of like slower, more conversational elements that I was like, oh my God, there's so much talking. And sometimes I'm fine with talking, but sometimes it's like there's too much talking. And yeah, I mean, but I think overall the season was really great. It really dived deeper into the mythology of the whole upside down. It kind of explains where the upside down, it doesn't explain where the upside down came from, but explains why this whole thing with the upside down is even happening in the first place. It kind of really opens up the story that way. And Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great things about the season that I did enjoy, and it leaves us on a pretty good cliffhanger for season 5. So overall, I do like Stranger Things, and it has also revitalized Kate Bush's career, apparently, because there was a song that was featured prominently this season that has really caught on fire, and people have also from there. I've never heard of Kate Bush, to be totally honest. And I was like, who's Kate Bush? And then I started to look into her song, her catalog, and I'm not the only one. So it has just I think just from a cultural currency standpoint, this is one of those shows from a pure cultural currency standpoint. It's good to watch because people are going to reference it, people are going to talk about it. And you want to know what people are talking about. It's like one of those shows where if you don't watch it, you have FOMO. So yes, like everyone at work's talking about Stranger Things, like all the memes are out there about Stranger. It's just one of those shows, like where from a culture currency aspect, it's important to watch. So yes, so that's my
Yeah,
next one.
I'm scrolling through this and I don't remember where I left off. I may have watched season 2.
Okay.
But yeah, the for season 4, the
Mm-hmm.
shortest episode is an hour and 4 minutes. The
Yeah.
shortest.
Mm-hmm.
They are on par with like an hour 15 most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's the last 3 episodes are like an hour 40, an hour 27, 2 hours and 22
Yeah.
minutes. I'm
Yeah.
like, like that's a
It's
lifetime.
crazy. It's a lot. I mean, it, actually, I was gonna say it doesn't feel that way. It does feel very long. It was like I took like 3 breaks
Oh my
during the last
gosh, that
episode.
is crazy.
Yeah,
So
it's a
yeah.
lot. It's a lot.
Well,
So so yeah, that's Stranger Things.
okay, that's Stranger Things. Well, I'm gonna keep us with our sci-fi thing, and then I'll go in a different direction. But let's talk a little bit about Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Uh,
Which we both did
so
watch. We both that's
great,
yes.
yes. You finally caught up, which is good.
Yes.
Um, I really like this a lot. I thought that this was the version of Picard that I really like I wanted to see. Like this sort of redemption arc.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar to Picard. And I did like season 2 of Picard a lot. But I feel like this series on Obi-Wan Kenobi really
Picard season
brought
2
him.
should have been 6 episodes, not 10.
Yeah, yes.
Imagine it was like 6 episodes and they trimmed all the shit and all the fat.
Yeah.
Like it would have been much better.
Yeah, it would have been much tighter. And this is a good tight story that focuses on very specific things. And it is all about the redemption of Obi-Wan Kenobi, essentially. It is my take on it. So you find him 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, hiding out on Tatooine and just living a very mundane existence, working, getting ripped off, staying out of trouble, not using his powers at all, not helping anybody, just basically surviving and occasionally checking in from a distance on Luke.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the way that this story unfolds is just really well written. It was really well acted. It was Deborah Chow did a phenomenal job directing this. And for all intents and purposes, I would say that this is a great show to binge watch because everyone I've talked to or listened to talk about this has said that if you just sit down and watch it, it's like watching a movie, like one long movie where the pacing, so there's some there's some questions about pacing from episode to episode, but overall if you sat down and watched this all, it's like watching a movie. Like the pacing is exactly like a movie and it's just broken up over 6 episodes. I think that the additional characters in this show outside of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader were excellent. A lot of strong female characters.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to spoil this for anybody, so I'm trying to like avoid some details here and there. But I just thought that this was the fight scenes were really well done. Yeah, I mean the finale was awesome. Um, and even the fight scene in the middle of the season was still, you know, was good. It was so it's, if you are a Star Wars fan, if you of any kind, I think you
Mhm.
can really jump into this and watch this. Um, anything you wanted to say like that's not spoilery? Because this one, this one's one where I mean most people have watched it, but I think it is worth watching as
It's
cold
worth
as you can
watching. I
be.
mean, it's only 6 episodes,
Yeah,
and if you don't like it, it's not a big deal. Like, it's not like it took up 26 hours of your life.
right.
You know what I
It's
mean?
it's it's like a 3.5 hour movie, really.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's worth watching. I don't think I liked it as much as you did. I did like it. I thought that at the end, by the end, I thought that the journey was worth it. I think if you think too hard about it, I feel there are things that would bother you. Like, for example, one of the things that kind of bothered me is like, so he's just going back to Tatooine and they're just gonna hide there again. I just feel like there's things where if Riva could kind of figure out, not to get too spoilery, but if Riva could kind of figure out all these details, could other people not? Like, is Tatooine like really where? I know Tatooine is Tatooine, and we need to be there. But this is sometimes where it's like when you're trying to fit things into mythology and you want to go back and like expand on it. It's like you
Yeah,
kind of need to take it a little grain of salt. Like, for
yeah,
example, by the end, it's like they kind of call off the search. I'm not being too specific, but it's like, really? Like we're talking, like, are they really just gonna call off the search for like Obi-Wan? Like,
yeah.
it's just like, it's again these things where if you think too hard about it and you kind of apply too much logic to it, this is always what's going to happen. Like we talk about this in Strange New Worlds. Like if you go back and try to it's not retconning necessarily, but you're trying to add more mythology to the universe. You need to, like, for example, okay, this is a bit spoilery, but when Riva goes to Tatooine and goes get
Yes.
Luke, right? She
Yep.
doesn't kill Owen. She does like very purposely does not harm Owen and his wife. I'm like, come on, like, like really
Yeah.
goes out of way to not use her lightsaber and hurt them. Like,
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, no, Owen, we know Owen's not gonna die right now, like, and
Yeah.
she doesn't even maim them. Like if this was because Riva's been ruthless, right? And I know that at the end
Yes.
she decides to not kill Luke, but literally, like if she can easily just flick her lightsaber and just cut off Owen's hand, like, and not if she don't want to kill him, fine, but she has not had an issue literally killing women
Yeah.
and children. So there's just things like that where like they really need to go out of their way to not harm or kill certain characters, but
Certain
then
characters. Yeah.
because we know that they're alive by A New Hope. And then also they can't like I don't know. There's just small things like that where if you think about it too much, it's gonna start bothering you. So
Yep.
for those of you that are going into this and you're like, I spoiled some of it, but like, like just don't think about it too much. Don't think about it too much. It's another layer
Yeah.
to Obi-Wan, it's another layer to Darth Vader. And it adds more complexity to the relationship. I loved episode 5 where we get these like flashbacks to Coruscant and to we see like young Obi-Wan, like young Anakin, and they de-aged them. That was great. That was fantastic. And I
That's
was,
funny. So I'm glad you brought this up. I actually did not think they de-aged Anakin enough.
oh really? I thought they did an okay job. I mean,
Uh,
actually he is, because at that point he's still like Padawan, so it should be even
yeah.
younger.
Yeah. So that was my
Yeah.
only issue with it. But with that, the so I didn't even think they did any de-aging, to be
Oh
honest.
really? I think some. I think
Um
they did some.
they might have, but not enough for me on Anakin. But I was
Yeah,
like,
Anakin, because Anakin was pretty
whatever.
young when he was a Padawan. Like, yeah, I
Yeah.
think probably a
Yeah.
little bit younger.
Yeah.
But
So not that.
that scene was it was great because it justified bringing Hayden Christensen back, because
Yeah.
otherwise it's just in a suit, like, and you don't really get to
Yep.
see him.
Right.
But it just adds more complexity and layers to these characters. Really appreciate it, but just don't think about it too much in terms of like the timeline and the logic and like how everything fits together, because it starts to get a little bit like you start to ask too many questions and then you get down this rabbit hole. So don't overthink it.
Basically. Yeah, don't overthink it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, but definitely an enjoyable Star Wars series. So all right, over to you. What's next? And maybe we should just do one or two more and just list out some of the other things that we think people should check out.
Okay. What is next for me? Okay, I'm gonna pick Westworld.
Okay.
Which I know you did you watch the first season?
I watched the first season and did not follow up after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Westworld is a very interesting show.
Oh, and here's my take on on things like this. Like this also applies to Stranger Things and other things. Like when there's too much of a delay between seasons, I lose interest. So Westworld is one where I think there were 3
it's like
years between
2 years between each season.
Yeah,
because they put
it's
so much work into it. The production
Yeah.
value is amazing. It is like one
and
of
it took
the most amazingly produced shows out there right now.
and I just think that's that's great for the show if you're a diehard fan, or you can go back and invest. But by the time you come around in 2 years, you have 10 other new shows that are competing for your time and attention.
No, you're not alone, because the ratings have precipitously dropped each season. It just takes too long.
And this is why
for they spend way too much time like thinking about these very elaborate seasons, and it's again, the production that goes into each season is absolutely amazing. It just looks so good, so well fleshed out in terms of world building. The future looks amazing. It's a dark future, but it looks amazing. Like things like that. Like it's just so well done. And honestly, I watched the show half watched the show for just the production design, for the way that technology comes to life, the way that we see these cities come to life. Last season was all about future LA. This season is about future New York. There's just a lot of shit there that is just nice to watch. You can see the dollar signs like on the screen. Westworld is a complicated show, to say the least. I have feelings about it. I think that it is one of those shows that is just too smart for its own good. I think it is overly complicated. I think that they've quote unquote have dumbed things down over the years. But it's sometimes it's too much. It's just too much. Season 2 was a mess because season 2 you had like characters going like back in time, like cognitively speaking. They were like storytelling wise, they were going back, but other plot lines are going forward. Like it was hard to kind of unravel what was happening. And then by the end, you kind of got it, but then it's like, oh my God, the journey that to get here. It's very interesting. It's heavily inspired by shows like Lost, where there's like a ton of mystery boxes. And I don't know. I mean, like in each season, it's almost like they reboot. It's like the show gets rebooted. It's like almost like a new show. You have all the same characters, but it's like, there's a new setting, new something or other, blah blah blah, whatever. It is very overall, I think it is one of the most ambitious sci-fi shows out there right now. That is not necessarily a good thing. I think it is trying just too hard to be like out there and smart, where honestly to the point where I feel that it's been to the detriment of the storytelling. So that being said, it is still a very good show. Like it's still a good show. It's like at this point, it's like 8 years in the making. It's taken forever to get here. We're on season 4. Like I was thinking about this. I was like, oh my God, season 1 premiere like so long ago. I was young back then. It's just like really funny. And yeah, it's it's an interesting show. It's worth watching. It's worth watching for just the production alone, I would say. And you have very strong characters. You have Ed Harris. You have Danny Newton. You have what's her face that plays Dolores, and Rachel Wood. Like you have like just really amazing like A-list people on the show. So it's between the excellent production work, the great acting. It's really worth watching. But sometimes I feel it gets a little bit lost in the complexity. So, yeah.
Okay. All right.
So Westworld.
Westworld. There we go. I'm going to take us in a different direction and talk very briefly about Heartstopper.
Yes,
so
I watched Heartstopper as well, and I liked it.
Yeah.
People were actually shocked that I liked it. They were like, "What? You watch Heartstopper?" Because it's not really, it's not usually the kind of show I talk about. And
I
was like, I liked Heartstopper.
Yeah, it's a British. It's based on an anime comic book, and they did a wonderful job with it. It's a great story. It's about two young guys one who's out and gay and one who's not out. Mm-hmm. And how they kind of come together, and it's a feel good, it's a feel good story overall, but there are ups and downs. There are, there's a transgender in the mix of friends.
There is, but they never make a big deal. They never make a huge big deal, which I really like.
I do too. I really like that a lot. And in fact, the actor who plays in it, she is going to be in Doctor Who.
Oh, cool. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she got cast in Doctor Who. So it's just one of those stories. The episodes are like 20 to 30 minutes long.
Yeah, they're short.
Okay. It's like 8 episodes. It's just a really sweet story. I have some friends who are British who love this story because it's the culture that they grew up in. Mm-hmm. Like just the school culture and the school, the one thing about UK schools or Britain schools in Britain are, you wear uniforms and things like that. Mm-hmm. So all of that to say that they loved it. In fact, it's sort of for one of my friends, Aaron and Gary, they've watched it like 4 or 5 times, like
what
repeatedly. So yeah, it's kind of like their comfort food. It's their like comfort food. It's like their background, like so I think that's really great, and I'm sure that it speaks to people who are much younger than us. In fact, I recommended it for one of my friends who has a transgender son. And he's on the younger side, so and he ended up really liking it. So
great.
The whole family did. So I thought that was really, really nice. So it's just a sweet story. It'll, you don't have to think very hard about it. You get emotional.
No,
you get emotional. It's slightly emotional. You get your heartstrings pulled. You have flashbacks to high school and and just when younger versions of yourself. So it's just a great show. So definitely check it out. It's just something fun and heartwarming to pass the time.
I wish they gave Olivia Colman more to do, but I really like Olivia Colman. Olivia Colman is just she's a national treasure.
She is a national treasure.
She's a national treasure. And
yes,
the one scene where he comes out to her, it was very short, but it was very, very touching. And
yes,
she did amazing work with it. It was quick, but it was a very fast coming out scene. It was only like a few minutes, but it was so touching. So good.
And it really does touch on the heartache and the difficulty in coming out, which I don't think a lot of people get,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand. So yeah, it's just it's a great story. And the cast is the whole cast is very close. Even the quote unquote baddies are part of this cast family. And
Oh.
so and they've gotten renewed for a second season, so we'll see more of it
Yeah. Yeah.
hopefully in early 2023, I think. But yeah, definitely check it out. Just something like, yeah, heartwarming and just not hard to watch. Not
Yeah. Yeah.
you don't have to think a lot about. So definitely go check it out.
Did you watch not because right after I finished Heartstopper, a friend recommended that I watch The Royals. Did you watch The Royals?
Young Royals.
Young Royals, not the Royals is
I
a different
have
show.
not yet watched it. I know it's I think it's Norwegian based.
It's not British, but it's like European.
It's European, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, no, I have not watched it yet.
But also another young adult gay drama
Yeah,
that I did
yeah.
enjoy. I did like it. It's more of a drama
Okay.
than Heartstopper. Heartstopper is their dramatic elements, but it's a little more lighthearted.
Yeah.
Young Royals is a little more serious, but it's still in that
I get
vein.
the impression that it's more like a CW vibe to the show. And this is sort of more of like
A little bit.
Heartstopper is a little not quite as intense on
It's
the
not
on
sometimes
the
no.
CW.
Yes,
It's
yes.
not a CW type show. So
Like there are like hard drugs, like on Young
okay.
Royals,
Yep.
which
Yeah.
it's you don't have that on
That's
Heartstopper.
CW. That's
Yes,
CW level stuff. So yeah.
exactly.
Cool. What's one final pick that you have so we can wrap this up and we can list
Yeah.
some other
So
things
so
people can check out?
my last pick would be it's another Paramount Plus show called Evil. And
Oh, wow.
it's in its third season. It is a very, very good show. I think it's a super underrated show. It started on CBS broadcast first season, moved over to Paramount Plus second season, but it was still kind of like it was originally the second season was originally produced for CBS broadcast, but then they decided to just quote unquote, air it on streaming and Paramount Plus. But the third season produced for Paramount Plus, so the F bombs have started dropping. It's just really funny.
Oh, here we
Um,
go. Okay. Yep.
yeah, it's like once you get into streaming, it's like all bets are off. It's like it just gets much more like violent and the more cursing. It's a very interesting show because it really, I don't know if you know the premise, but it examines the intersection between like faith and science. There's a little bit of an X-Files edge to
Okay.
it, but it it's like this team, they're investigating supernatural phenomena, but they are at the disposal of the Catholic Church. They basically are assessors for the Catholic
Okay.
Church. So there, for example, they will go and examine a case to determine, was this really a miracle, or is this person really a saint, or things like that.
Okay.
But it really plays this interesting line between science and faith, particularly from a religious standpoint, and it will openly ask questions, unanswerable questions, like are there demons, are there angels, like are there like these things that we can't explain. And I just really enjoy it because sometimes it's just really funny. It's like this dark humor, and they just do a really great job just kind of bringing everything to life here. And it is the showrunners, it's the Kings. They did Person of Interest. You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, I know Person of Interest, so yes, I'm familiar with.
It is Robert King and Michelle King.
Okay.
So they did, yes, they did. Did they do Person of Interest? I might be lying.
Hmm.
Oh, you know what? I'm getting
Okay.
things confused. Jonathan Nolan, who was a showrunner for Westworld, he did Person of Interest. Um, the Kings did The Good Wife. They did A Good Wife and
Oh,
Good
okay.
Fight.
Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just a really great show. A lot of interesting questions, especially if you're a person of faith. I think that it is definitely provocative. And yeah, I recommend it. It is one of the shows I do recommend. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. So my last choice is more of a movie. Well, it is a movie. So let's just talk about Fire Island because I think
Sure. I didn't watch it. Did you? You watched it, obviously.
I watched it. Oh, you haven't watched it?
No, I haven't watched it.
Oh, okay. It's it's an enjoyable film.
But you don't
It
like
is
Jane Austen.
I don't so I if barring the Pride and Prejudice kind of overtones or the copy of the story, however you want to look at it, which is not something that I'm into. I'm not into Victorian novels. I'm not into like that whole Jane Austen and Emma Austen or whatever,
Emma
not,
Austen. Emma.
no, Emma is the book by Jane Austen. Anyway, this whole genre is not my forte. So, but the movie Fire Island as a like perspective on um diversity and inclusion and um stereotypes uh is it's prescient, I would say, first and foremost. It's it's definitely reminiscent of New York gay culture. I mean, it just is.
Right.
And
Right.
at the heart of this is a romance, or a supposed romance or hopeful romance, and and a character who tries to fix it all for everyone, or whatever. It's just it's fun, it's enjoyable if you don't give it too much thought. I mean, it's there is some like not there are cases, not cases, but there are pieces of prejudice and things like that. Some somewhat based on how one acts when one's drinking and that sort of thing. um there is economic differences,
Sure. Yeah.
which is
Classism.
it's classism, thank you. So it's all kind of in there. But it's a it's a fun, overall it's a fun romp. It's it's not very long. I
Yeah.
think it's like 90 minutes. It's it's worth
It got good reviews.
yeah. I mean, the writer Joel Kim Booster, he's funny. I mean, he's I've seen him in other things. I've seen him in other comedy clips. He has a
He was on.
Netflix
Was he
special.
on SNL?
I want to say he was, and Bowen Yang is on the Daily Show, I think.
Okay.
But again, I'm not super into either of those shows.
Right.
So I could be wrong on that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's a fun movie to watch. And if you're part of our community of LGBTQIA plus, I think you'll find something in there to enjoy. And
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not perfect, but it is, it's written by an Asian American. And yeah, so it's I think it's important to support and see these type of movies.
Yeah. For
So
sure. For sure.
all right.
Cool.
Any other let's just name off a few other things that you might want people to check out. I mean,
I don't.
think
I
you
think
have
I pretty much talked about everything. Do you have any other recommendations?
I mean, you didn't talk about Umbrella Academy.
Oh shit, that's right. I forgot about
You didn't
Umbrella
talk
Academy.
about Bridgerton. I
Bridgerton at this
didn't,
point, I put it on the list, but honestly, it's so long in the past. It's so far in the past
it
that
is
like I think that it's not culturally relevant anymore at this moment.
at the moment, but if people haven't seen it yet, it's definitely
It's
an
Bridgerton's worth watching.
enjoyable
Oh my god. And
yeah. It's just
Jonathan Bailey is just hot and he makes a convincing
yeah.
man. Like, I mean,
Yes,
that's
he
a long and
does.
short of
Yeah.
it. He's a beautiful man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Umbrella Academy.
That's
Yes,
super fresh. So you have
that's
to
super
kind of
fresh. That's
like,
super fresh. I think the
yeah,
one of the biggest things that come that I won't really touch on Academy too much, but the biggest elephant in the room for Umbrella Academy this year was Ellen Page's transition to Elliot Page, and
yeah,
for just now that he's male, and he goes
yeah.
by he
Elliot.
no he
Oh, in the show.
pronouns he them pronouns, or is it he pronouns? I'm not sure. I apologize to Elliot Page if he is listening to this podcast, but that was done as well as they could have. I think that they did a decent job with, because the character transitions in the story, and they did a decent job of it. There was like a arc for his character in season 2 that they use as a springboard for him deciding to transition as well.
Mhm.
And they did a good job with it. There are I wonder if like this was a situation where I feel that they could have done more with it and actually talked a little bit more about it. Whereas some of his siblings, once he was like, oh, the character's name is now Victor. And the siblings were like, some of them were like, okay, like, really not a big deal. But I feel it's like almost too not a big deal. I think there are times when, yes, you don't make a big deal of it. But if there's someone that you've known for your like whole life that decides to transition, there's going to be more conversation about it. It's not just like, oh, okay, sure. I think from a cultural context, sometimes it's like, oh, okay, sure. But if it's someone that you've known your whole life, it's more than like a 2-minute conversation. You know what I mean? Like it definitely is. So I feel that there could have been a little bit more in that respect. But I think that overall they did a great job portraying Elliot's transformation to his character on screen as well. So I'll just get that out of the way. Umbrella Academy overall, it's definitely worth it. It's one of those very quirky sci-fi fantasy shows where if you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Like it just has a very specific sense of humor, a very specific kind of storytelling, and it's not for everyone. But I enjoyed it. I felt the season dragged a little bit, but overall, I would still recommend it. So that's it. Cool. Are you on mute? I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Mike.
Thank you. Can you make a note of that time?
Okay. I'm giving time.
Oh, good. Oh, great. So towards the end, anyway.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, two other things I would say. This movie came out a few months ago. The Adam Project was an enjoyable movie. Zoe Saldana is in it. I can picture him, but I can't think of his name. Ryan Reynolds. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
So it's a fun movie. It's an interesting movie. It does have time travel and sci-fi aspects to it, so it's very interesting in a lot of ways. Something a little more terrestrial and definitely not sci-fi. The Lincoln Lawyer was an interesting show that Dennis Mutz and I kind of caught. Yeah, it's interesting. I ended up watching most of it with Dennis, and it kept my attention. It's an interesting drama, I would say, and yeah, it does kind of all come together, the mysteries throughout the season and how things are all tied together. You don't really know how all these things are tied together until the end of the season, but again, a good show if you're looking for something like in the LA law, like the Law and Order type genre.
Okay.
This is it was enjoyable. I think that's it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, let's just take a quick minute here to talk about Fansets, the premier and presenting sponsor of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network and Deep Space Pride. Fansets is the purveyor and creator of amazing pin collectibles for Star Trek and a bunch of other properties, including Scooby-Doo, Batman, DC Comics, Rick and Morty, and many others. So head on over to fansets.com, check them out. The latest releases, so there are new July 15th releases as this comes out that you'll want to check out. I have no idea what those will be, but go and check them out. The July 1st ones are Rock Talk, which is sold out, and
Right.
Jankum Pog. So the micro pins from Star Trek Prodigy. You can still get them all as part of a set for a discount, which is the way to go if you do love Prodigy. And also Emperor Giorgio from the Women of Trek collection. So head on over to Fansets, put a bunch of pins into your cart, and check out if you put Trek Geeks, all one word, all caps, in the coupon code, you will get 10% off your order. And we want to thank Fansets for being the presenting sponsor of Deep Space Pride and the Trek Geeks Podcast Network.
Thanks, Fansets. Cool. Well, if you liked this episode or other episodes that we've released, please leave us a 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice. We'd love to hear from you. You can also reach us on email or on social media. You can email us at deepspacepride@gmail.com, and you can DM us on Twitter or Instagram at deepspacepride. Cool. All right. Well, that does it for this episode. Mike, is there anything else that you want to share with our fans and our listeners?
No, thanks for listening. Hopefully, send us a note. Let us know what you're watching this summer as we have this hiatus from new Star Trek. And also let us know what you think is going to be up next. Although probably by the time you hear this, there will be some sort of announcement.
I would imagine that there's been some sort of announcement at this point, but
so there may even be, this is Monday, July 4th. So there may be even an announcement tomorrow on Tuesday, July 5th. So
who knows?
Or later this week. And we're recording everything for this month now. So we'll have to play catch up when we get back together live and on time in August. But we thank everybody for listening. Hope you have a great summer, and we'll see you here next week.
Bye, everyone.
Deep Space Pride is a production of Coconut Media Works. Executive producers Bill Smith and Dan Davidson. For more great Star Trek discussion, discover the other shows of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network at trekgeeks.com, or find us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app.
Coconut.